Alrighty, so I'm finishing up Durga, and one of the last stages for finishing up one of my paintings is doing the edges. I coat them, as you may know. I place in colors in aerosol, I put in shapes in aerosol, and then sometimes I also cover them with an oil pastel, and that does take a while to dry. But I'll just be very, very careful. I do like the way the colors pop with an oil pastel as opposed to just the flat aerosol. And one of the things that makes the aerosol a little flat is I coat it with a glaze of transparent earth red and neo McGilp. I mainly want to express the idea that it's a frame. It's not part of the painting. Part of the fun of working in the garage. It's a frame without being a frame. It's part of the painting without being a painting. It's an extension of the painting without being an extension of the actual painting. I want to highlight, I want to pull out the colors in front, and I want to kind of even everything out. And that is how I do it. And the thing about doing the edges for me too, especially when I'm super, super stuck, I know there's something wrong, but I can't quite peg it. When I do the edges in my way, with the aerosols and the aerosols and the glaze, and sometimes the oil pastel like this morning, it helps me to see the front a little bit clearer. And once I had done actually the edges, I saw where I could have darkened up. I could have smoothed out some of the brush strokes, which actually up close, you know, getting up here, some of them are very, very rough, and I love the contrast of standing in back, and we've got pop and we've got smooth, and then you come in and you can actually see the brush strokes, and that's part of painting for me. Part of the adventure of painting, part of expressing how to paint, part of expressing what it is to be a painter and working with these materials are the rough brush strokes. But I don't want too many. I don't want it to look and feel like I don't really give a crap about the end product. I want it to feel like a human made it, like a specific human being made it, but without being too careless. Because as I've said before, one off brush stroke can tear the whole painting down. You feel like you're compensating for that one corner that's wrong, or that one section that's wrong. So I think tonight when I come back, there's a couple more places I want to touch up, and then that's done. Durga will be sitting and drying, getting ready for an event on Siesta Key I'm doing with Michael Saunders on Thursday. They're having an open house. Excuse me, it's very warm out here. They'll be doing an open house, and I'm going, apparently, ooh, my hair. I'm going to be there painting. It's not something I've done before. I haven't worked with a real estate company before, but it's something that may be an ongoing thingamabob. So I'm going to be standing in a $2.5 million home trying not to make a mess or touch anything, because me. Now, while I've been working on Durga this morning, excuse me, Durga got me to turn and look at, I'm going to put this to the side, another painting that I've shown in other videos, or at least a video, and it's all about a scene I see at night. I'm going to pick this up and move it in. Whoops. Okay, kind of, sort of. A lot of glare. Yeah, that's not going to help. Let's see. See if we can do it. All right, it's coming up a lot darker in the video than it is in life. Okay, you're going to stay there. There we go. Let's try that. Anyway, this all started off with these really bizarre abstract shapes, and it really looked and felt like I was trying too hard to hold on to those abstract shapes. So the other night I went in with Payne's Gray and transparent earth red and a little bit more blue, and made lines. And I thought I was a genius, and this is fantastic, and it's going to be beautiful. Next day I put on my glasses, looked at it, and went, what were you thinking? Like, what planet were you on? This morning, however, while working on Durga and the colors in there, I went up to it and I started hitting this painting with blues. So there's a lot more blue in it than there was the other day, but it's hitting the black lines with blue, but not just painting over them, painting around them. And then that triggered in my head other things I should be doing. Highlighting the lights, but not just covering the top of what I have, the oranges and the yellows, that glowy color with more orange and yellow, but also creating like little rectangles, my shapes, the abstract shapes going around the highlight and getting it to work. So hopefully it's beginning to glow. It will get that glow as I move further and further along. It's still stick figure stage, but I'm not going to worry about it because I'm starting to find my way. And we've talked many, many times about using the materials that you have as opposed to the materials that you would like to have. I am out of Neo McGill, but thanks to a friend who watches these YouTube videos, I have Neo McGill coming. And it's going to be about the end of the month, but it'll be there, and I'm deeply grateful, Danny. Thank you. And I wanted to say, hi, Abby. It was really nice talking to you the other day. It was really nice talking to you guys the other day, the whole family. Anyway, so the Neo McGill is coming, but in the meantime, what do I have to work with? Well, I have some oils. I'll be ordering more oils. Thank you, Danny. I have oiled pastels, which I was applying to Durga. I have a canvas, or maybe 2 canvases that are ready to go to Siesta Key for the event this weekend. And I have mineral spirits. Now we're told when you paint, it's fat over thin. So I'm going to start off very thin with my aerosols, mineral spirits, the oils that I have, and the oil pastel. I'm trying to plan it out in my head before I get there, but because I don't know the scene, I don't know the environment particularly well, it's taken me a little while to figure out. I know that it's going to be an ocean scene. Siesta Key is absolutely gorgeous. It's always perfect. The weather is beautiful. It's not like Cape Cod where you can get this big billowing cloud. It's usually, normally, calm water, calm sky. So how do I take that and make that more compelling? And that's what I'm trying to figure out in the few days leading up to Thursday. Hopefully I'll figure it out. Usually I'm very lucky. Usually something in my head goes, oh, this is what you have to do, and I do it. But I just have to wait for the materials and the paints and the colors to give me direction. I can't force it. If I try and force it, it will be an entire painting of brush strokes where everything's falling apart and I'm trying too hard, and then I'm angry that I wasted all my materials. So I wait for my other paintings, wait for the materials to tell me and the environment to tell me the direction I need to go in. Now, I need to apologize for something because someone reminded me in the last video. This is like the apology video. The ending of it will be. I do this a lot. I realized, I got a comment from someone where she labeled herself a lighthouse painter, and I realized how derogatory that comment I have made about myself is to others. My thinking and feeling is, I didn't know, way back when I was doing dog portraits and lighthouses and that kind of thing, how to reach a deeper level. And I had no one to give me any direction in it at all. I had art history books, I had access to the internet, some access to the internet, but I didn't know how to dig into that deeper level. And so what I try to do in these videos is show you, not like I'm the quintessential, look how deep I've gone, but try to show you in these videos how you can possibly find a way to your deeper self. Find a way to dig at the meat and feel like you're really painting for you in your style. And so I apologize for the derogatory comments or anything that made anyone feel belittled. I sometimes do that. But it's mainly about me, like why didn't I try and figure it out earlier? Because I didn't know. I had no one saying, you could do this differently. You can do everything differently. And so in these videos, I hope that's what you find, is you can do things differently. You don't have to do what everyone else is doing. You don't have to be the same as the artist next to you because they're selling well, or, you know, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, I hope you're able to pull some of that out, that you don't have to use materials that everybody else uses. You don't have to paint in a style that you have been taught by someone who that's all they know. You can play with your materials. You can do images that you don't really understand at all, but that just come to you. Whether it's through reference, or through a dream, or through this cosmic explosion in your head. It's okay to sit down and just doodle and doodle and doodle and doodle and doodle. Doodle with oil pastels, doodle with oils, until you find that thing that makes your head open up. And it could take days, it could take weeks, it could take months, it could take years. I didn't get here till I was, like 46? I let it all go. I let all the information go. You have to paint with smooth brush strokes. You have to use this particular fancy paint. You have to use this particular fancy canvas. You have to paint on linen. You have to have a smooth surface. You you don't have to do a friggin' thing, except find your own way. Find out what works for you. Remember, we're Vincenting ourselves. We're doing a Vincent. That's what's going on right now in this particular series of videos, is we're not just hanging on to the edge of the cliff. We're going to find our own way. Oh, and thank you very much, Mary, for reminding me I am actually not a failure, although that's what my head tells me, and other people tell me, which I don't really care about. I'm not really a failure. I have all these people on YouTube who watch me. I have very passionate fans online and in person who write me, email me, message me. I'm not a failure, and I have to be reminded of that every day. And I am selling artwork. Not as much as I would like, and that's where my head starts to descend down the rabbit hole. But I am not a failure. If we are working, we are a success. If we are continuing to push forward, we are a success. Okay, I gotta go to work, and it's super hot, so gotta go drink some water. Gonna go now. Ciao.